Hello and welcome to That Millwall Podcast. My name's Omar. Joining me today, I have Ben Green. Hello, mate. How are you?
Well, good, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. I always have to give you a legal name out for some reason whenever we do a podcast. I think because it's your Twitter handle as well, mate. For some reason, it's just like it just rolls off the tongue for me. I can't help it.
Mate, it's fine. I don't mind.
I'd say my name, but it goes on for about 4 barrels, mate. So, but yeah. We're recording in the aftermath. I've just got myself indoors from the Dagenham Redbridge game. I thought we'll get us on here, mate, to give our thoughts, feedback, and yeah, I mean, we're through to the next round. More importantly, 3-0 victory. First initial thoughts, mate. Leeds away coming up next. It's feel good after that, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I said the other day, I really wanted just to sort of batter them. Just to be perfectly honest, mate, I wanted to see a bit of a good performance. Sort of see what Alex Neil been able to do with a week on the training field, rather than obviously just a couple of days. There's no judgment with the 2 games that he'd been in. Previous. So yeah, I was kind of keen to see what we could do tonight, mate. And there was certainly elements of that and certain patterns of play. But yeah, look, it was fairly comfortable, wasn't it? To be honest, mate. Surprising that they didn't really come at us a little bit more in that first half. They kind of just let us get into a bit of a rhythm. But yeah, so comfortable, all round positive, mate. Great to see the young lad obviously come on and score. I've seen the serve being put up for the Puskas Award already. So just all round good night. The only thing that was a little bit going, mate, was that it was on a Monday night and there weren't a few more there, I guess. But is what it is. Just
I think as you said there about we're in the I want to say we're in the hat, but we're not. We're already the hat's already been done. Do you know what I mean? Like the draw's already done. I don't want to go too far off topic on that, but it's like playing a Monday night when the draw's already done, knowing we've got Leeds away. I mean, I suppose that's something to look forward to, isn't it? But it kind of killed it a bit. I think it was 5,500 I saw there today. I think they had 1,500. I was quite surprised that we had 4,000. I'm totally honest with you, mate.
I was the same, mate. When I saw they'd sold 1,500, I was like, we'll probably have the same. Being totally honest with it being on telly.
Yeah, that's it. But anyway, if anyone's new around it, be sure to like, subscribe. Me and Ben are going to go through the game for about half hour, talk about our thoughts about it. We will probably touch on someone that's departing that's well known at the moment. That's Roman Essa. And we'll just give our thoughts and obviously go through it. I mean, what we'll do is, Ben, we'll probably talk about the 11, obviously. I think I've done the Friday Night Live with the boys and stuff. And I kept saying throughout that, I wanted a strong side. I wanted us to go for it. But then when we was doing the team towards the end, I kept making changes subconsciously. I don't know if it's because it's, that whole FA Cup stigma, it's Dagenham Redbridge. It's, I started putting Roberts in goal. I said, some people said, let's give Harden the game. I kind of warmed to the idea of it. And I was like, yeah, give Tanganga a rest. Hopefully Danny Mack's back. He wasn't in the squad today, I don't think. I didn't see the bench fully, but he also didn't play. And I was like, yeah, before you knew it, he had 7 or 8 changes in there. But we had Billy Mitchell back in the sides. Adam Mayer played left wing. And then the rest of the side said Jensen in goal, Leonards, Tanganga, Cooper, Brian, Mitchell alongside Leonards. Honeyman was in the 10. Femi Aziz on the right. And on the left was, help me out.
Adam Mayer left wing.
Adam Mayer, that's it, yeah. And then obviously the serve up front. So quite a strong side, mate. I mean, I was quite shocked to see that. I kept saying we need a result, need a performance, need a win. We got that. But yeah, it was quite a surprise, I thought. I don't know what you felt when you saw the team an hour before kickoff, mate.
Yeah, I mean, to us, I think the first surprise was that I didn't expect Tango to play any part, being totally honest. I thought it was a perfect opportunity for Coops to come back in. I thought one of Hutch, Murray, or Harding would have played. I thought he might have given Harding some minutes just because it's a non-league side and it's not being asked. It's probably about his level. I just thought he'd play. With Coops there, given the fact he is quite physical as well, right? So it wouldn't have been like we were losing any sort of pace at the back. People are going to be screaming about that non-league comment, aren't they? I can just see it now. I say that with tongue in cheek a little bit. Nice to see Adam Mayer come on. I really like him. So I know we only saw limited game time, obviously, last year before he got injured, but there was just a couple of little bits he done. I remember Coventry away, he was quite direct and, just like what I saw from him in spells. Thought he did all right first half today. I just like his directness, mate. His willingness to get down that byline and get crosses in. The quality probably wasn't the best, and certainly in the second half, he overhit quite a few of his crosses, but so I liked him. And yeah, look, it was great to see Billy get some minutes under his belt. And I think probably more importantly to rest Sav because he needed it. yeah, the starting lineup was strong. As I say, the only kind of real surprise for me, mate, was the fact that Tango played 90 minutes in the end.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think obviously we've mentioned prior. I think Femi Zis obviously picked up an injury in the game. I think you were right to mention earlier, Alex Neil saying I've only had 1 day of training before each game. We've had a week on the training field. Now we're starting to see it. What did you see? What kind of stood out for you anyway? You feel like from looking at that? I think they weren't much of a test, were they? You mentioned it in the pre-bit, mate. But they didn't really come at us, didn't throw anything at us. But FA Cup, you beat the team in front of you. That's all you can do, really. Look at Tottenham struggling against Tamworth the other day, and ultimately, you just want to get through to the next round, and we did that, didn't we? But I feel like there was some encouraging signs there. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. Aziz was brilliant for me, mate. Best player on the pitch. Every time he got the ball, he looked lively. I think, which I'm happy to say, my initial thoughts on him earlier in the season are completely wrong, and so I'm happy to say that he has really improved. He looks like he's going to getting a bit of end product and a bit of quality. Again, look, we got to take the competition and the team who we've played tonight. But yeah, he was our most creative spark. I'm hoping he's not out for too much time, but you never know. It looked like it was a groin injury. He was certainly rubbing the inside of his leg when he was walking off. So yeah, hopefully he's not out for too much time. But yeah, in terms of patterns of play, mate, you could certainly see what we were trying to do. I think it's going to be a big part of Alex Neil's game is obviously getting those wing backs or full backs further up the pitch. So a lot of Brian sort of overlapping or getting in tight to Adam Mayer. Same on the other side with Lenny and Aziz. So yeah, it was positive, mate. Kind of everything you want from us, really, isn't it? So we weren't overly direct. We were when we needed to. But yeah, there was a lot of balls that went in the box. But I think same old with us, just that little bit of quality missing.
Yeah, I think that definitely stood out for me. I guess when you play these sort of sides, typically they sit deep, probably try and be compact in the middle of the pitch. So you're going to get areas in the wide areas to try and do the damage, really. And it led to a lot of set plays, a lot of corners. And our first goal came through actually a corner. I think it was the second phase of it, got cleared away. Yeah. I think Brian puts the ball back into the box. Good header back across. I don't know who from. Can't recall. But Cooper was it, yeah. And then a bit of a goal mouth scramble. But as you mentioned, a Puskas contender. I think the boys behind me were saying that actually we should try and get as the goal of the season. And I do think the podcast should try and get behind that. It was Ivanovic, kind of like a salmon reaction, I guess, on the floor, heading it into the net, mate. I mean, it got my bet up. I had Millwall first half and over 4 corners. So I was quite happy with that because I was like, quids in, that'll do for the weekend. But yeah, I mean, fair play to Ivanovic, I suppose. Took it kind of, we'll get onto him now, I suppose, as well. But yeah, what would you make of the goal? And obviously just getting him off, get a goal, I suppose, and kind of kicking on, I suppose, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, if it hadn't have gone in, say they'd cleared that, it was 100% a penalty and a red card because he got, attacked, basically. I was going to be quite harsh on the first one. I thought, should he have scored the first one? But no, I think it was definitely a penalty and a red card had it not gone in. But yeah, mate, he did well, showed a little bit of bravery because he probably didn't know what was coming behind him. It was probably a typical us goal, really, wasn't it? Ball in the box, Cooper knocking it down, and then a bit of a scrappy finish. But yeah, look, any goal for him, I think, is a positive. As you say, we'll probably come on to him in a bit more detail. Now, I thought his link-up play tonight was the best I'd seen. He showed some nice touches, again, certainly in the second half. His actual distribution of when the ball was at his feet, again, was much better than we'd seen. His finishing is a bit of an issue.
I think you mentioned the link up. It's definitely stood out to me. I mean, one moment in the second half where Honeyman's mate done a link up with him, gone on, and he's put a through ball to him, hasn't he? And you're right. The link up play definitely stood out for me. I think he's obviously, we're not lynching all our hopes on him. I feel like if that's the pattern of how games might play out, the Den in particular, he doesn't strike me as the most physical forward, despite his height and strength. Well, no, lack of strength probably what's actually clear to see there. He's come from Europe, hasn't he? Come from Serbia. And I feel like the physicality of the English game, he's going to need time. We all know that. He's 19 years old. We're not bought the finished product, and we're all very aware of that. And I suppose if you're Alex Neil, it doesn't matter how the goal comes, but we got the breakthrough, and it was the most needed goal that we probably needed so far in his spell, to be honest, just to then kick on and win the game quite comfortably. But on Ivanovic, I feel like I couldn't help but feel watching that game, like if Josh Coburn was in there, a bit more physicality, it probably would have suited him a bit better. But I'm positive about the Serb. I feel like he's going to come good. Signs are encouraging. It's got better and better. We saw him at Stoke away, for example, man. And the physicality thing in particular for me is the real kind of drawback about him, I feel like, especially playing outside how we play.
Yeah, and again, look, you've hit it nail on the head there, mate. Look, he is a 19-year-old lad. He's going to fill out his frame. He's obviously quite tall, isn't he? So, yeah, hopefully he'll bulk up a bit. My biggest concern with him, mate, is his lack of pace. And that's... we've spoken about us in general, right, just lacking a bit of athleticism across the pitch. Mm-hmm. And it is just that worries me. Like, my barometer of any player is, would a centre-half in the Championship be worried about what's up against them in Ivanovic or Langstaff or Bradders? And the answer, at the moment, no. I wouldn't be, if I'm a Championship centre-half, I wouldn't be scared in marking Ivanovic, because it's all in front of you. You've got nothing worrying about going behind you. You can defend that. And because he lacks a bit of strength, it's easy to defend, right? And that's just a big concern for me at the minute. Listen, he's a young lad. We keep saying that. He's going to have time. He's going to have time to develop. It was more the chances that he missed tonight than anything else, again, that worried me, because in the Championship, as we know, we don't create the amount of chances that we did tonight. He might only have got that cutback as his one chance, and he has to score. We have to be a target at least. So
I think the parts came in the second half, didn't it? Because I'll come on to the second half now. Then I remember opening my phone somewhere during the half. He was like 2-0 kills the game. You've got to score it. I think that's pretty.
It's true, isn't it?
Right? Yeah,
it's just true. And as I say, it's not so much in these games where you're dominating and they're relatively easy. They're training games in effect. But we play Leeds at home and it's 0-0 and it's the 85th minute and that happens. The roof's coming off. He's going to get lynched. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the thing, man. It's just that killer instinct. That's the bit that he needs to have. And as I say, we're all going to go tonight. It doesn't matter. We've won the game 3-0. He could have had a hat trick, but I want to see that. He should have had a hat trick. We had that other half chance in the second half. And I'm saying it's a half chance, but again, a top level striker is probably at least getting something on that and making the keeper work. So listen, as I say, there's certainly positives from his performance, mate, and there's still a long way to go for him.
I feel like it's going to be one of those, I hope, anyway, in this case. I feel like maybe it could have been addressed already, but it's physicality and it's obvious, I feel like, to most people that go. So I imagine the club are probably aware of that. But maybe he'll go away in the summer, come back, and then look at a more stocky figure that will be more of a presence. Because I'll come back to Coburn. Obviously, he's been out injured. I think he's due back soon, I believe. I hope he is anyway. And I feel like it would suit Coburn, that sort of role, especially if that's how we were going to play, get the forwards in the wide areas, get the ball into the box, have that kind of physical presence. I think it suits that kind of almost awkward nature of Coburn. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. I think, again, you're just going to see, he's much more of a commanding presence as that sort of focal point, isn't he, up top? Going back to the Serb very quickly, he clearly loves playing for the club, mate. He could hardly wipe the smile off his face in the post-match interview. So, listen, as I say, people will probably think I'm being harsh. I am, because he's our record signing, right? And there's always going to be that critique of him. And I know there's more to it than that. But, there's just signs for me that I would like to see a bit more of. As I say, that killer instinct certainly in front of goal. And the big concern for me, as we've said, is the lack of sort of sheer pace, which I think you need more and more now in the modern game. But, look, much improved from him. As I say, his link-up play was really good tonight.
Definitely. I think, obviously, we've got the second goal. Shortly before that was Aziz coming off injured. We mentioned pace there. That's obviously a big concern, isn't it? I think you're right. Like, just having that kind of rawness. I think on the second goal, I think Mayer and Brian link up on the left, down there, getting overloads. Ball into the box, stood up, and Denor's there to finish it quite well, to be fair to him. And I think he got voted the man of the match. I saw on the big screen at one point. Did he get man of the match?
Right, yeah.
Not my man of the match, personally, if I'm honest with you, but...
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I probably wouldn't have given it to him.
What did you make of his finish anyway? I think he took it well.
Yeah.
Got the goal, 2-0.
Yeah, really good finish, mate. They said probably the only nice thing that Joby McAnuff and who else was on commentary?
Adam Virgo?
Who was it?
Adam Virgo, maybe?
No. Anyway, the guys in the studio. It was Joby McAnuff and someone else. Can't remember who it was. And it was the only thing they said nice about us tonight, even though we won the game 3-0. They were just itching for Dagenham to score or do more against us, even though we completely camped them in their half for the first half completely. They were just itching for it. But anyway, really good finish. Really good finish. It would have been quite easy for him to kind of slash at it. He had sort of half chance in the first half, didn't he, that come out to him on the edge of the box. And I think that's just ended up in South Bermondsey train station. So, yeah, really good finish, mate. And at a time where we needed it, we just needed to get that second goal because, as we said about the Ivanovic chance at 1-0, you get that second in the type of game that it was, and it was completely game over then. Sav come on and done really well. We just controlled the game after that.
For sure. So then, obviously, we mentioned in the build-up of that goal was Adam Mayo, and we touched him a little bit earlier, mate. I think good to see him get his opportunity. Like I said, I felt initially when I seen the team, like, he's in the side that's near enough our best 11. He's in there. Let's see if he fits in. How would you rate his performance? Say if we give it a figure out of 10, I'm gonna probably say 6.57, meaning he done what I'd expect of him. Nothing really stand out, I feel like. But as you mentioned, he has that. I want wingers to take players on at Millwall. And he's done it on occasion, but not enough for my liking. I don't know what you felt.
I was going to give him exactly the same. I was going to say 6.5 out of 10. I'd say, mate, I really like him. He's direct. There was a couple of times that Joe Bryan gave him a horrendous pass. In the second half, he kicked one out. The first half, he left him short. And Mayer wanted to go that way in behind the fullback. And Bryan wanted it at his feet. And I would rather see Adam Mayer go that way and doing what he was doing than what Joe Bryan was trying to do. So
Bryan killed him as well. I don't know if it picks up on the camera. In the second half, Bryan killed him, like saying what you like. We're basically giving it.
Yeah, they kind of had a bit of he was pointing money and doing that as well. And Adam Mayer was right because he was in behind. If he'd have got it in behind, he was in. But yeah, listen, I like him. I like what I see from him. He obviously put up some really good numbers for Morecambe. So. Yeah, I'd like to see more of him, certainly in a side that lacks a bit of pace and directness in those forward areas, certainly now with someone exiting. So, solid enough performance, obviously, first game back after injury for the first team, mate. So, yeah, I'd like to see more of him.
Still only 19 as well, Ben. I've flash score April, so still a few months till he's 20. I think he got injured, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's, I'm pretty sure I heard it, in Dubai, trying to get himself ready for pre-season, because obviously under Edwards played and then had a couple of games, and Harris came in and was banished away, basically, didn't he? Didn't get a look in. Fair enough. The situation was in. But he obviously was probably quite eager then, if that's the truth. I don't know where I've heard that whisper from. I could be completely bark up the wrong tree there. But he obviously was eager to get his chance, gets, shit injury, missing for 3-4 months start of the season. And now he's got his chance to play a game, I suppose. But I can't see, I mean, we've got injuries. And obviously you mentioned the departure of Roman Essa there. Our little star boy's leaving. Fuck's sake, it's Palace.
Right, we've got another one, mate.
Yeah, well, we'll come on to him in a second. But then I can't see Mayer getting the opportunities to play properly. I feel like he needs a loan move, is what I'm maybe getting at there. I don't know what you think. We need to obviously sign some more players if we're going to facilitate that, maybe. But
well, that's the big thing there, mate, isn't it? Is how many we're actually going to get in, because we all say it all the time. January's a horrendous window, certainly for permanent signings. We're kind of knocking on. We ain't got long left. Again, is my point. So. Maybe a loan deal would be good for him. I would like to see him hang around the first team, and even if it's a bit part player now to the end of the season, just be around the new manager for the rest of the year. At least put a shift in training, get him to see you day in, day out. I'd rather him stay with us personally, mate, because I do think there's a player in there. The only thing I would say with him is I would almost certainly guarantee he will, by the end of his career, end up being a left back.
You reckon, yeah?
Yeah, almost guarantee. I just think he will end up he'll be a left back in a better, if he wants to be at a championship level for a long time. I reckon the older he gets, I reckon he'll end up being a left back.
He's played left wing back, left mid, left wings, left centre mid, all sorts of positions for Morecambe. So I suppose
he looks tidy technical wise. Again, his passing was good. I don't think he really gave the ball away tonight. As his end product wasn't great certainly in the second half. Put some decent enough balls in the first half. So, yeah, mate, listen, I'd like to see him staying around the first team.
My only argument for the loan, I understand where you're coming out completely with that, and I do see a play there too. I just want him to play 20 games between now and the end of the season in a team that's maybe top of League Two, where he's guaranteed to play, confidence building. He looks like he's, I don't know, from the outside, you never know when you watch these footballers, but he just looks like he needs, maybe even go back to Morecambe. I don't know how Morecambe are getting on, but just go back there. You saw that clip over the weekend, where he was, they're seeing Adam Mayer is one of our own. Just be loved for a few months, go away, play some good football and come back. I just don't think he'll get that opportunity to get that real confidence under his belt between now and the end of the season if he sticks around. But I entirely get your point there. I mean,
yeah, I think it's more going to be dependent on who we get in, mate. If we get in and out, probably left winger, then yeah, maybe not. But I think it's more just to show that to Alex Neil what he can do, as I say, day in, day out. And even if he doesn't get a lot of game time, just put in a shift in training and try and take his chance when he does get on. But as I say, I like him, mate. I've got high hopes for him.
Because we come on to who came on for him, and you could argue may have played 75 minutes and got his opportunity. And Reece Bengura-Williams, he signed the new deal last week, comes on and does in 15 minutes what we'd hoped Mayer would have done today. You can put circumstances to it. Dagenham Redbridge has been defending for 75 minutes, tired defending. But Bangura-Williams come on and took his chance, hasn't he, mate? And so we'll come on to him anyway. What a goal. Fair play to him. When he got the ball, I've seen him in pre-season a couple of games. I went to Cray Wanderers and he played. I went to, I think, Willstone as well. He scored a couple of good goals there as well, I'm pretty sure. Definitely in the Cray game. He looks a bit gangly, awkward, but could take players on. And when he had the ball there, it felt like you knew exactly what he was going to do almost. And he did it and executed it so to perfection. And what a debut for him. Unbelievable.
You just delighted for him, mate. You might not have seen it in the ground, but the smile on his face and how happy and passionate he was when he celebrated. All the players ran up to him, were buzzing for him. Just buzzing for him. Certainly after the new contract, certainly after his interview as well, where he obviously said some big things, didn't he? That the Mill fans are going to see a lot more of him in the future. Yeah, more of that, please. Made you delighted for him. One thing I've noticed again, mate, we talk about athleticism and sort of presence. He doesn't, if I compare him to Essa, he's a year older, right, than Essa, I think, is he?
I believe so, yeah.
But he looks that as well. He doesn't, if we think about Romain coming the sides 18 months ago, he looked like a boy. Yeah. But I looked at him tonight, and again, I know it's easy to say who we're playing against, and they've been defending for 75 minutes. So I do understand all that. But he looks big, he looked quick, he looked powerful. Delighted for him, mate. And again, just hopefully another one that's coming through the youth system. And again, if he's in and around the squad, mate, for the rest of the season, give him some minutes, give him some game time. He's only going to improve. And just delighted for him. And for Sheldon Kendall as well, mate, to be fair.
Just going to mention him, yeah. Him and Alpha Messi come on at the end. So we had 3 academy boys on at the end of the game. It's nice, mate, right? We didn't say, I think we said predictions at the end, didn't we? At the start of the season about who's going to play. Steven still hasn't got his Nino Adam Malachi up. I don't think he will. But obviously, Massey getting on, Kendall playing as well. It's good to see that opportunity offered to the players and that pathway that we're talking about. And if SA's worth 15 mil, when Bangura-Williams does that, it keeps doing that.
I've said 5-0, please, Palace. Mate, just a point on Alfie Massey. He just looks like a really tidy player, mate. He looks like a better Billy Mitchell.
I was going to mention Mitchell. Come on.
But technically, I mean, he looks really like he come on, and again, I get it, he's in the middle of midfield after 80 minutes and they're done, and it's easy to sort of look good at that point. I really do. But he looked sharp and he looked technical and he looked athletic and mate, exciting times. If we can get all them around the first team squad. But I really like Massey. I really do. He looks like a decent little player.
Billy Mitchell, I was going to mention him quickly. So obviously his first start since his injury as well in pre-season. Or was it the end of last? Anyway, he got injured, didn't he? I think in pre-season, I'm pretty sure. And it's good to see him back. I feel like we've missed him a bit, personally. And I don't like the slander he gets, Ben.
No, I'm a big...
Within the first 5 minutes today, people around me call him Sideways Billy and like backwards Billy. And but for me, like, I thought today, his first game back is against conference opposition, whatever caveat you want to put it with. I like Billy Mitchell. He's quick. He's up and down. He's dynamic. He puts his foot in. He's okay, if you want to call him sideways, but he recycles possession well, in my opinion. He does good at that job, which is often a case where we don't really need that role. But today we had more than our fair share of the ball. You need someone in there to try and keep the ball ticking over. I like Billy Mitchell, and I'm glad to see him back. And I think he will offer that competition, especially with Saffel and Denor maybe flaring to deceive of recent, which is natural to understand with the amount of games they played.
I don't need to add anything onto that, mate.
Yeah.
I'm a big Billy fan. I think we miss him. Great to see him back. Great to get the minutes under his belt. I've always said that I actually think he'll be a better player in a better side, because he will be that player that no one expects anything from, sort of away from Mill, and he will just be that pivot in the middle of midfield that will just recycle it and knock it about, and he's got energy. And as I say, if he played in the Swansea side, I'm just using them because they've been typically good footballing teams, people would go, oh, he's a good little player. He don't give the ball away. And listen, he ain't ever going to get us 10 assists and 10 goals in a season. He's not that sort of player, but he's a player that I think a lot of clubs in the Championship wouldn't mind having.
I think the most random examples come to my head. Richard Chaplow, we signed him 10 years ago, right? 10, 11, 12 years ago. I'm going way back here. Well, not way back, but for us anyway. He was at Southampton, playing in a midfield three, cycling play. I think they had Pochettino just coming as manager, proper, good football. Yeah. Come to us, and everyone's like, he's fucking shit. Well, we're like, we don't play that style of football. He's looking for the link up, and he's not happening. And I think Mitchell gets labelled all the things that I mentioned previously. And I think it's funny. We're praising, obviously, all the youngsters coming in today. It's like, well, Billy Mitchell is one of our own as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's like,
I think he would be far more appreciated away from us.
For sure.
Which is a mad thing to say, because he is one of our own, and all those youngsters we just mentioned. And when I say a better Billy Mitchell, better Alfie Massey, I probably mean at that age, right? Because it seems like Billy's an experienced player now, but he's not, is he? Well, he is, because he's been around the first team for a while, but he's still a young lad. He's still got a lot of developing to do for us. So, mate, great to see him back. He's going to be certainly very useful for us. I'd be interested to see just what Alex Neil would be thinking in terms of who is our best midfield two. I'm really interested to see what he'd be thinking there.
For sure. I mean, that's definitely a talking point, but we'll see, I suppose, going into the weekend for sure. I think we mentioned one of our own there. I think, anyway, for the comment section, if you disagree or agree about Billy Mitchell, it'd be good to get your thoughts. We'll be sure to read them after the show and see what's what about that for sure. I think I can imagine some of it being a bit of both, to be honest. I don't understand it. Ben doesn't either. That's fine. Everyone can have their opinions. It's football. It's the best way to play, right? But one of our own is leaving, and that's how we're going to wrap this show up, mate. Roman Essa is leaving the club. £14.5 million is the rumoured fee, somewhere in that region. I hope there's a big fat settle on it, and I hope he goes there and smashes it. But he is going to Crystal Palace. Disappointing it is Palace, like I mentioned in the pre-bit there, mate, earlier in the show. But firstly, good luck to him. He's earned it. He signs a new deal in August, September, probably on pennies at the time. He's then going to go on to get his £15 million move. I imagine a big fat bumper contract.
Yeah.
He's going to the Premier League. There's a void in that team if he can develop into that player. It's a smart move for him. Just got him, we're losing him so soon, I feel like, mate. He's played, 24, 25 games this season, and suddenly he's a £15 million player, which is something that still blows my mind. Maybe I'm a dinosaur because I still want to see 4-4-2 and, Neil Harris is manager at Mill, but that's fine. I'll take the chance.
The comments up now.
Yeah, I know, mate. But I can't believe he's leaving so soon, mate. But ridiculous amount of money for us. Hopefully we invest it. What's your thoughts? I'm sure you'll echo all of them.
Yeah, so I'll just throw it back to you. Are there any negatives?
I feel like what I'm scared of or worried about.
I'll go into that in a sec, but what I mean here is, right, because I know what you're going to say in terms of the negative. But in terms of negatives, I mean, we've got a great fee for him. Yeah. We were never going to see him realise his potential with us because he was going to leave, whether it was going to be the summer or next January. So we would never have seen him turn into be a superstar, or he was never going to be a superstar with us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's got his local move. He's not moving that far. Mm-hmm. And Palace typically have a good way of developing young English players who then go and play for Bayern Munich and all that sort of thing. So, I just think for everyone, mate, it makes sense. We've got good money.Essa's got a good move.
Yeah.
I just think apart
from the potential of what are we going to do to fill that void. Which is the main concern.
That's the only negative. But in terms of the deal itself, for Essa, and the club in terms of the money, I think it's amazing. The only negative or concern is what we're going to do with the dough.
Because this is it. Like, we've got this model in place, Ben, and we're going to be developing young players, giving them contracts, tying them down. Bangura-Williams is the prime example. Signed a contract last week. He scored his goal today. We're giving them the opportunity to develop and play and put themselves in the shop window, which is what we need to do. It's just then that's the first stage. The next stage is what we do with it. And that is it, isn't it, mate? And I think it's a difficult window. And I keep repeating it, and I hate saying it again and again, but it's an evolution, not a revolution. Do you know what I mean? Like, Bradshaw's not in the squad today. He's leaving, supposedly, if you read what you believe or hear what you believe, whatever.
I mean, that'd be almost certainly the fact he weren't even in the squad.
Exactly. He's not in the squad. He's not injured, as far as we're aware. He's not going to be here going forward. There's a lot of departures. I feel like it's a lot happening, albeit Brashaw's not featuring under Neil so far. I just fear we're changing things too quickly almost. Do you know what I mean? And like, if I had it to me, I'd want to keep Essa till the summer. But Palace obviously see the value in him, want to get him before any interest comes around. I get it. But it's a big window almost all of a sudden because we've got injuries, players, out of form, and what are we going to do about it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, listen, the new model, if you want to call it that, is only ever going to work if we reinvest it well.
Yes.
If we keep churning out youngsters, whether it be through our own academy or signing youngsters, I'm just going to use Adam Mayer, for example. Like, you go and get one from lower leagues and you improve them and then sell them on. Not saying Adam Mayer's going to do that before anyone comes at me, but that sort of thing. It only then works if you reinvest it into the squad and either do it again and find your next youngster, or you buy players that can improve the first team. So if we're having 14.5 million, which is the room, 12.5 million, 14.5 million, plus then the Fleming money, you're looking at potentially a transfer kitty if JB Junior wants to stick it all in of north for 20 mil, plus then anyone else that leaves in the summer, Jaff. Might get some more money there. So again, you've got a healthy kitty there, certainly for, beyond our recent standards. It is then just how do you spend it? Because if we squander it and invest it wrongly, you then got a very expensive bill. I'd imagine now with money or clubs knowing that we've got money, we're going to have to pay over the odds for players. And now taking that next step, we kind of broke the bank getting Jaffa in with his wages.
Yeah.
I'm imagining now that's going to be continuing. The wages are going to start going up, because we're going to try and sign better quality players. So, long-winded answer, mate. But yeah, the most important thing is this model will only work if we reinvest it well.
And this model is, and I can't be critical of it because I'm happy that we're doing it because I've banged on about it for years. It's just my fear is we've gone from giving all that money to a manager to then giving it to Steve Gallen, who is now in charge of all of it. And this is now it's almost like, here you go, the baton's over to you, Steve. See what you can do. This is where you put your money where your mouth is, right, Ben? And this is, I think, hopefully they relish this challenge and excited for it, because if you're a director of football, I imagine having
Alex Neil's not the type of manager to come in and completely give the reins to someone else. Anyone, right? I just don't think that would have happened, mate. I don't think any.
Yeah, what I mean by that is, it's obviously the model is very much the idea is Steve Gallen will be here after Alex.
Yeah.
He's going to have a huge play in it. Of course, Neil's going to have his input, isn't he, as well? But my meaning is, there's going to be targets. I'm sure Neil will bring some targets to table too. But this is why you've got the director of football, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the proof's going to be in the pudding, unfortunately, isn't it, mate? It's going to be how he does invest it. And listen, I don't even think it's going to be this window. So whilst we have got that money when Essa goes, we might get one permanent signing in, maybe someone they've had lined up. I would imagine that might be someone in Europe, just because in certainly in England, it's really hard in this window to go and get a player that's doing well or someone else's best player, because you're just paying well over the odds. So we might get one permanent signing. I'd imagine it'll be more loan signings.
Louis Barry? I don't know.
We spoke about him in the chat, didn't we, mate? A big fan of his. I actually watched the class of 92 the other day of when he went to Salford. So 18 months ago, was it? Yeah. Last January, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, whenever it was, he went to Salford. And he seems like quite a decent kid as well. He spoke about his time at Villa and they did a little bit on him. And seems like a decent kid. Obviously, scored bundles of goals and in League Two, League One. I keep saying that with Stockport. Flying, mate. He's someone, mate. Again, we said it in the chat. I would love to see us get him on loan with an obligation to buy or a fee set up, because he's the sort of player that you're going to hopefully get a bit of resale value for. If he continues his form, he's already put probably a note on what he's worth. So, someone like that, mate, be all over him.
That's it. You kind of go from spending 1 million on players here and there to going spending 3 and 4 million on players here and there. And that's what you've got to do. Gets more risky as it goes along, mate. But that's ultimately what you got to do to try and succeed. Brentford is the prime example of that.
Just chucking that back at you. Would you rather a Roman Essa now or 4 £3 million players?
Well, this is it. Right this second, I'd probably rather have Essa because it's January. You don't want to rock the boat too much. We need to build on performances like today, even though it's against Dagenham Redbridge, to then continue to consolidate, really. And if we find ourselves in the position where we're challenging it in the season, fantastic. But consolidate. Pre-season is when you want to start implementing and bringing in the 3, 4, 5, 6 players for that fee. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, and I agree with you. You won't see a lot happening this window, but I suspect if the opportunity presents itself, and we've seen it with Berylson now, he's more buoyant with it and more kind of, he will put it there and just go and sign these players. I don't think we would have signed the Serb, for example, under the previous ownership, but I don't think we would have done that. Do you know what I mean? So there's clear kind of bullish tactics from in there to go for it if it's available.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. How many do you think we need in this window? Two questions. How many do you think we need? How many do you think we'll get?
I still want us to go at centre half. I don't think this is important, providing Tanganga and Cooper stay fit. But I'd like to see us get someone in. Maybe that is the option. That if you think Tanganga's going in the summer, why don't we see if that option is able to bring someone in now that might be the long-term successor to him? If again, hard being us to do it. But if there's someone in League One, I see that the Wickham centre half getting linked around with people at the minute. Why don't we try and see if we can get someone like him available if that's on our short list? I think centre half, we need to get that number 10 position filled, don't we, mate? And I think Barry is the answer to that. I'd love to see us get Louis Barry. I do think there's a chance there. And I think it's purely because we've lost Essa that we can guarantee game time to a player like that and extend his value. We'll have to see on that one. And maybe one other player in the wide areas, I suppose. So in answer to your question, I want 3. I think we'll get 2. What do you reckon?
I was going 1 up on that. I want 4. So same positions that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Scanlon's obviously coming back, so we're kind of covered with Danny Mack being able to play both fullbacks.
We haven't touched on it, but Aaron Connolly's also been linked with us and supposedly coming in as well, hasn't he? So
yeah. You put up his interview, right? On YouTube. So people haven't seen that, go and watch it. I've started to watch it, need to finish it. He's always been sort of touted as a bit of a wonder kid, wasn't he? If you want to go in FM terms, he's always sort of been touted to be a wonder kid. Obviously, he sort of shot on the scene, didn't he? And then I think from what you said, sort of had a few struggles off the field. Yeah, if we could potentially give him a home, like you said, mate, and put an arm around him. Was he there with Alex Neil at Sunderland? I think I stuck it in the group earlier.
I think so. I could be mistaken
as well. So
yeah, I think, or maybe no, I'm not sure to be honest. I think he was at Hull previously. He was at Brighton when they were getting Europa League football, so he ended up playing Thursday nights and stuff against the shit teams and started to break through and materialise under Graham Potter. And they really highly thought of him. It was the same time with Malumbi, Connolly, the the Irish contingent there they had that going at the time, and obviously they thought of Malumbi quite highly, and he kind of then went on to West Brom. But the same with Connolly, and I think you mentioned it there, but he had these struggles with alcohol and depression and stuff, and it does need a home. So I imagine it's a short-term fix because we know Bradshaw's leaving, but it could materialise. You never know. So the 4 you said, and hopefully we'll get 3, right?
Yeah, I do think there will be 3 loan signings. As I just don't keep saying it's just such a hard window, mate. So unless we've got someone lined up that, maybe someone from Europe, then I can't see any like permanent deals. That's just my opinion. Again, hopefully we do. But I'd like to see us get 4 in, mainly all in the front areas.
Yeah, that's it.
We might need to know if Aziz has got a bit of an injury, mate. It might be that whole wide right, wide left, a 10, and someone in coming up front. So. Yeah,
I will tell, mate. Hull City on Saturday, mate. It should be a good one.
Yeah, again, bit of an opportunity. They're obviously struggling, aren't they? Obviously, good result against Leeds. Did they play in the FA Cup? Can't say I looked out from.
They must have done, but I've not seen it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I don't know how they got on. A bit of an opportunity, I think, mate. The next 2 games, right? Hull and Cardiff. They'll be the interesting ones, right? I think tonight was always going to be, you expected us to win. It will be now, can we translate some of what we've seen tonight back in the league? And I think we need to. Yeah. If we don't probably pick up at least 4 points in the next 2 games, that gap could probably start to close. What, we 7 points now from relegation spots? I'm keeping a little eye down there, mate. as I say, yeah, you lose. It only takes two teams to win 2 games on the spin, doesn't it? And then that's 1 point then. So I know they all can't win. I get all that before people come at me. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what was put in place tonight, if any of it's translated to Saturday. So fingers crossed.
Time will tell. Well, Ben, that's us. Thanks for joining me, mate. Short notice, but we've got it out there. And it's 11 p.m. now, so probably be out in the morning now. But yeah, thanks for joining me, mate.
Nice one, mate. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Pleasure is mine, mate. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, leave your comments below. Let us know what you thought about Billy Mitchell. Is he sideways Bill, or is he, this is the future? I don't know why I'm going to go with that one, but we're going to leave it there. He's the club captain material in my eyes, but there you go. I'm going to put some more feelers out there to get some more nibbles. But yeah, that's us. Thanks for watching. We'll be probably back on Friday for Friday Night Live. And yeah, Comedy Lions.